Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the difference between conviction and convincing, or what can often sometimes be referred to as overselling, right? Sometimes we just are so excited about something or we want something so bad we oversell it. We do too much. When really a great example of something that's strong is generally very simple. In fact, as I'm saying that, it makes me think of those old Western movies, Clint Eastwood, very slow, not a lot of words. When there were words, they were powerful, or maybe the Godfather movies, those types of things, slow and strong. Now, I'm not going to get all the details of those movies, but when I think of sales and why sometimes it gets a bad rap is you have the fast talking, quick moving, sales guy that's kind of overdoing it. And I say guy, loosely, woman, female, just an example. So person, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And so, what is one of the tips or one of the things that really helps us maintain a high closing percentage? And that is the ability to be simple, to keep it very focused, to be confident. And with that confidence and conviction, we don't have to worry about convincing anybody, right? So, what does that sound like? I have a few examples I thought of. Maybe someone is a little bit surprised at 36 editions. Now, I will say today is Wednesday, April 3rd. This morning, Kevin Orton did an amazing call on closing. So I don't want to redo what he's already put out there. If you want specific language for the presentation, I would go back and listen to that call. You go into back office, into resources, should be right there at the top. But you can always just type in Orton, hit search, and it'll pop up. April 3rd, great closing talk, great presentation breakdown by the master himself, Mr. Kevin Orton, the VP of sales. But so let's go back to this. Why 36 editions? So someone says, why 36 editions? Now, what would overselling look like? It could be like, oh, gosh, there's even now I know we don't do this, but people could even be like, oh, it says that, but it's okay. You could either, some people, I guess, in a really bad sales environment would even go so far as to mislead someone. That's obviously a wild lack of confidence and conviction and not something that anybody should do at all ever. But if you've already done, if we've already completed an appointment, you can simply use a reference point, or repeat something, right? Sometimes we need to feel like we need to explain something or over explain it. Someone says, why 36 editions? That's really, we have those campaigns set up. They're the minimum for the experts. We have the kick the tires, the 12 editions, the 24 editions. But what we found is people really enjoy those longer term discounts for being a longer term partner. And if this is an important market and you plan on being in business for a while, it's really a great campaign, right? So notice I'm not trying to sell them on a bunch of stuff. I'm just matter of fact laying some things out there. You might have a few other talking points. Those are some first ones that came to mind for me. What if someone says, well, hey, this branding sounds great, but I want direct response? Well, overselling or trying to convince could be like, oh, yeah, you know what? Lots of people do get calls, 100%. Like maybe you get 100 calls. Don't say that, right? That's not, there's a different way to phrase that. Could be absolutely, it's about branding. All the marketing science, advertising research shows that frequency and repetition create that psychological effect of familiarity. That's what creates a relationship and trust and the positive light with the consumers. So that makes it really, really important. I will say some people do get calls, but that's not what we promise or do anything. It's, that's so variable. Some people look at your website. So I appreciate the fact that you want direct response. I have no idea how the dice will roll out, but what we do is we put your business in front of this audience each and every month, with a compelling ad, obviously. Is that something that you believe would be beneficial for you? Right. So I'm leaving it with a question. So kind of shared a little extra context there, but the idea of the point of that is not overselling or over promising. In fact, under promising, over delivering is one of the things that we do really, really great in BVM in terms of all of our training and best practices. What's what's another one, that we could easily want to, yeah, a lack of conviction or trying to convince. If someone said something like, man, that's a really high price, we might go, hey, I can drop it down really low. Here's the lowest I can go. Can you do that? And again, these are kind of theatrical, dramatic responses for contrast. Obviously we're not doing that, or don't want to do that. So what's the opposite of that look like? Hey, I can totally imagine, or I think Mark Lovis is the first person I ever heard say, yeah, it is, huh? And just kind of nodded and agreed with them. I like that. That's beautiful. We're like, yeah. You know, internally as I'm thinking about that, why would I just go, huh? Yeah, it is a high price. Because we're not a, Pinto. Are those cars even still around anymore? I did have a Datsun at one point, but topic for another day. So, this is the Ferrari, this is the Lamborghini, this is the Mercedes, high-end Mercedes. AMG of local community advertising. So the price is exactly where it needs to be for the product. Now, one of the great things that we have, and this is me talking to you, not to a client, but just us kind of building our conviction cup here, is that we do have, campaigns that we can make adjustments to that are, doable or even comfortable for almost any business. Now, I know there are businesses out there that maybe just started, they have no idea what their marketing budget is. You catch a business at a time where maybe they just spent some of their last dollars and they don't have anything in the budget. That's one of the, most important things when we talk about 15, businesses per week, 6 of them being small, 6 medium, and 3 large, is that there is a timing component here. Even if we sat down and did the best presentation ever, 15 times per week in first appointments, it's just not going to be the right time for every business that we meet with. So that's, important to keep a very full pipeline for that. But we really do, navigating. I know Katya Henderson did this really well recently. It was something that somebody went on a ride along with her and shared, like, oh man, she did this, this, and this. It was so great watching her in action. So that's really important to understand too, right? We can have conviction and confidence in our pricing in a sense that it's great for a small business, medium business, or even large businesses. We really do have something for most anybody, with some exceptions. And most of the time, the exceptions are just due to timing or that business owner not having a good grasp on finances. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they want to open up a flower shop. They're currently working in the finance world and have their MBA, and they're like, yeah, I think I want to do this flower shop thing. And they're like, most business owners, they don't have an understanding of how to run the books and how to run a business. And they're like, my MBA, as long as I spend in school, is actually going to help me that. But that's super rare. Most business owners we sit down across from, they maybe have never even figured out how to balance their, I shouldn't say most businesses, but some businesses owners we sit across from never got taught how to properly balance their checkbook, right? So you're going to have some of that. But those business owners can be great clients too, by the way, which is really, really fantastic. I think sometimes if I think about it, my own personal experience as a publisher, I know from working with some of you, we have this thing. There's like a cognitive bias. It's a psychological term. If you're not familiar with it, it's actually really fascinating for those of you that like to self-educate. If you want to get into the psychology of sales and working with people, you can figure out what these cognitive biases are, and they are things that people have, and they actually will lead towards or away from a sale. It's kind of a different topic here, but we also have them in our own personal experience. One of them is the recency bias. So the recency bias, kind of self-explanatory in a sense of we have a bias towards the most recent events that we experience. What that can look like sometimes is, let's say today's, what is today, Wednesday? So let's say Monday I had 3 first and a second appointment. Tuesday I had 3 more first and another second appointment. Let's just say out of my 15 appointments, for some reason, 5 of those 15, or 5 of the 6 of the 15, if that makes sense. If I'm thinking of 6 small businesses, let's say 5 of the small businesses happen to be front loaded at the beginning of the week. And 4 times I ran into, I don't have a budget for it right now. It's really easy for me to go, gosh, those small business owner, Paul at Paul's Garage, and Sharon at Sharon's Hair Supply, they just don't have a budget. I don't think I want to meet with them anymore. But we can't let things like a recency bias or a small sample become the tale that we tell ourselves for every business. And so when you look at folks like Kathy Duran is a really great example, right? She has sold over $1 million for 10 years, I believe, or she sold over $1 million for many, many years, but has been with the company for over 10, you know, um, just really runs a wildly successful business. And when you talk to her, her bread and butter, and she talks about this all the time, she's like, I've just gotten really, really good at sitting down across from small and medium businesses and helping them find something that fits quarter page, eighth page. And, she's doing 15, 20 appointments per week, knocks out 2 to 3 of those per week on average, right? And that's pretty sweet. Obviously, there's big businesses mixed in there. That's part of her mix, but you can have so much confidence in this business from that component. Obviously, big ads are great. Writing up big orders, super fantastic. Bundled with pro, half page, full page, like yes, 1,000% into that as well. I do think sometimes we latch on to these biases or these small events and forget about the completeness of running a holistic business. So 15 first per week, 6 small, 6 medium, and 3 large, and you're in really, really good shape. So I know I talked about really this was about overselling and conviction and confidence. And I do think, where does confidence come from? And I think about this regularly. It's been something maybe just a topic or a theme for the last couple of months and the various things I do. And, whether it's work or family or even outside, I guess there's a couple of belts hanging behind me. Those are jujitsu belts. And I really do believe confidence comes from a few places. One is experience. And I want to say the right amount of confidence, because sometimes we can be overconfident or we can be underconfident, but confidence can come from experience. And if we're brand new, maybe we don't have a lot of BVM experience. What we can do is borrow confidence anytime we need it. We plug into a conference call, right? Or we talk to a coach, a market leader, division leader, a mentor, another publisher, and we can borrow confidence from their experience, helps fill that conviction cup. And then it comes from action, and inaction is also an action topic, maybe another topic to table for another day. But we can always be confident if we're doing the right things. In our business, it's a very simple formula. We say, get our head right, guard the culture, and get 3 S's. Hey, check out that. We got a thumbs up there. That was not edited. That just popped up. Get our head right, guard the culture, and get 3 S's. Culture, could talk about that for hours. I also believe part of the getting the head right, plugging into the morning conference call, having time protected to make those dials, making sure we have prospect in line. So anyways, a few thoughts on confidence. Would love to hear what you think. If you'd like to drop a comment, ideas, maybe anything I missed, as I went on a few tangents here, but we're rocking it as a team. LA, Desert, you guys are fantastic. March was just a massive growth month. We're into April. I'm going to throw down one more challenge here. If you're still listening, one final challenge, and I'll probably talk about this more in the next videos next couple of days, but our attach rate in March, 70%, pretty exciting stuff. So my challenge is, and it comes from a place is what does great look like right now in our business? And great looks like a great attach rate. That is one of the keys of orthodoxy, the keys of a healthy business, the key to having a high renewal, to be able to drop off that impression report every month, to give a digital component to deliver that to the businesses we work with in tandem with our print is just the way it's at. And we are obviously doing really great. There are some people that have a 100% attach rate. In fact, last week's digital call on Friday, I can't think of the guest speaker's name, but I know that she said most of the people I sell digital to already have digital, something that they're doing digitally. So pretty cool, right? So that's how you get a 100% attach rate, is you go, oh, that's normal. I'm sitting across from someone that has digital and they still buy ours. When we can normalize that, we'll continue to see our attach rate grow. And so my throwdown or my challenge is, what would it look like if you finished April with a 100% attach rate? What would that mean for you, for your clients, for the health of your business, for the future of your business? What would that look like? How might that benefit you? And if you aren't sure, reach out, let me know. Let's talk about it. But how cool would it be if everybody here right now finished the month with a 100% attach rate. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, conviction is way better than convincing. People can tell when we sit across from them if we keep it simple and straightforward and focused answers and lead, advance the conversation. Great things happen. So keep getting in front of enough people, and hope you enjoyed.